Welcome to episode 10 of Don't Wrestle Your Neighbor. I'm here with my co-host, Trey. Hasn't tried a dang darn thing Hardiman in his life. And we've got a top 5 Friday for you today. Top 5 Friday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a top 5 Friday.
Very excited about it too.
Yeah.
But it's also still Wolf Week.
Wolf Week. Make your best wolf noise.
You want me to do it?
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna howl.
You're gonna howl?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Let me hear it. That's the most conservative howl I've ever heard.
I didn't.
I'm sorry. Did I just bust your eardrums out?
See, that's what I didn't want to do. That's
Sorry, I wasn't even thinking about anyone else. I was just channeling a wolf, you know.
Well, just think about that. Do you think that carried 6 miles?
No. No.
Which is fascinating. Because once again, you've heard this fact already, but wolves' house can carry 6 miles.
They can carry 6 miles.
Okay, so we got Top 5 Friday, which means today we're going to do our top 5 of something. Last week we did cereals, which was fun. We did a draft style, but this week we figured we were just going to do a top 5. And we're going to do our top 5 favorite Disney animated movies. So before we even get started, I want you to tell us what your top 5 Disney animated movies are.
Yes.
Or animated Disney movies are.
Yes.
Evan, do you have anything to say about Disney animated movies? Anything in particular?
Well, we were arguing about the parameters of this list earlier.
I know. We were just going to do Disney.
Because he was like, are we going to do Marvel movies? Does that count?
Yeah, because
Evan
said...
And then we were like, let's just do animated.
Evan said anything that's on Disney Plus. And I said, you mean like National Geographic?
I wasn't thinking...
Which is where I get all my wolf facts.
It's a Disney Plus National Geographic. Well, we're not going to do Marvel movies.
Okay.
From what I understand.
Right.
And I actually don't even really know what's Pixar and what's not.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to let you go. You're going to just let me go? Maybe not.
Okay. Just tell me and we can go. But we're not going to do this draft style. Like, we're not like competing.
Right.
You know, for like who has the best list, blah blah blah.
Right.
This is just
you can tell us.
This is just our top 5.
You can tell us your top 5, but we may or may not care. So
or agree.
We may just. This is us being honest.
Yeah.
I think my top 5 list, because I know your taste in movies, is going to be different than mine. But yeah, I'm very interested to know what you're. And we've talked about this. You know,
to be honest, I genuinely don't know my top 5 right now.
Okay. Well, also,
I probably know
animated right now, which is hard.
I know 2 for sure.
Okay, do you want to go top 5 as in 5 and then to 1? Or do you want to go 1 to 5?
5 to 1.
5 to 1. Okay, so I'm going to...
Well, and I'm not doing them in order.
Okay, that's...
Are you doing them in order?
No, actually, that helps. We can just do 5 of our top 5
favorite
movies.
I wasn't going to do them
okay, so
my favorite to least favorite.
Your first movie in your top 5 list, what would it be?
My first one in my top 5 is I'm gonna go with Up.
That is a classic movie. So can you give me a little explanation on why you love that movie so much? Because like to the average individual, I love that movie. But it's not anything special until you get into it.
Yeah.
Just on like surface level. If you were to watch the trailer or you were to kind of just see like snippets of it, you wouldn't be like, this is fantastic. I think it's a fantastic movie.
Well, I've been watching
probably my top 10 list.
I've been watching a lot more Disney movies lately.
Right.
Because I just had
you have a kid.
I have a small child now. He's 9 months old. And so I've been watching through some that I haven't seen in a long time, and I just recently watched Up, and I hadn't seen Up in a long time.
It puts you through some stuff,
but it's very emotional. I think for adults, it's a great movie to watch because the beginning took me off guard a little bit,
right?
And how much I was like,
wow, yeah,
okay, you know, because
it's intense.
It deals with, you know, loss and
Death,
grief and some of that stuff and
how you deal with it.
And I also think it's a really cute movie.
Yeah, it really is.
And it's a really good movie and it's funny, but I think it also takes on some serious topics pretty well.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think it's very, very different from a lot of movies where it's like some you'll have like a princess and a hero, and it's a little more fantasy based.
Yeah.
But this movie is kind of like grounds itself in reality a little. I mean, obviously,
at least it feels that way.
A guy is floating in his house that's
Right.
suspended with balloons, which isn't super realistic. But like, it takes place in our world, which is kind of interesting to think about.
Yeah.
And I just think it's a really human story, which I really like.
Yeah, that's really, really good. I do love that movie. Yeah. I think it's great. When I say, just when you, on first glance though, you wouldn't be like, oh, this is a top 5 movie. But then you watch it and it's like,
there's a lot
in the first
there.
minutes you are in your emotions, and then the second half of the movie you're in your emotions the whole time. Like it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Up. That's a great choice. Top 5. Evan has Up. I'm gonna go one of my top 5. I am going to say Tarzan.
Oh
yes,
dude. Augie watched so much Tarzan for the first 4 months of his life.
That was probably I have 2 movies. I'll share another one here in a minute. But
I would argue if we did top 5 soundtracks,
that's got to be number 1.
That would be
it's got to be number 1
up there.
Phil Collins just basically said, "I'm going to make as much money as I possibly can through Disney." It's ridiculous. But I love this movie so much.
That song is so good.
It slaps, right? There's
so
many.
That's a good one.
I love this movie so much. I loved animals growing up. And I think the idea for me as a kid of being raised by gorillas was kind of fascinating.
He's obsessed with wolves. He wanted to be raised by gorillas.
I just think it's interesting to me. I love the story. I think it's just really well done. The soundtrack is really, really good. But also just the plot. I just loved it as a kid, and I still watched it recently to when you love kid movies as a kid and you rewatch them just to see
and you're kind of
for me it's like High School Musical. I enjoyed. I'm okay to say it. I enjoyed High School Musical as a middle school and high school kid. I did.
I'll say it.
I'll do it. But now I'm like, those are really cheesy.
Sure.
But Tarzan didn't miss. I love that movie.
All right, Tarzan. That's a really good pick, and I had kind of forgotten about that one. I don't know why, because I've watched it so many times recently.
What do you got?
I think next on my list, and I'm kind of going newest to oldest.
Okay.
Is
I'm probably gonna do the opposite.
Soul.
Ooh, that is. Okay.
Again, just another really great human story.
Yes.
Of dreams and desires and striving to be something and be somebody, and then kind of attaining that and realizing
well, it's your identity to be somebody.
Yeah. And so I just think another really great human story, which is what I really love about it. But again, it also does that perfect Disney thing where it blends it being just like a really cute film with a lot of heart and it being funny.
Well, and you have a person who is trying to do everything he can to be somebody, and then it's compared to someone who is just doing life. They're just, I'm okay. I don't want to go to the real world. I just want to be here. I don't want to go nowhere. It's really, really great film. So.
It's a good one. Yeah. It's a really, really good one.
That's fantastic. I feel like a very similar type of movie for my number 2 or top 5 would be Inside Out. There's people who have a lot of different opinions on this movie. I think for me, I have one daughter who's almost 2, who will be 2 next week. And then I have another daughter on the way. And obviously the main character of this movie is a young girl, going through emotions and different things like that. Changes and moving and all this different stuff. And I just think it does an incredible job displaying what goes on, in a kid's head throughout life as they grow up, as they're processing, their, joy, sadness, anger. And I love the idea that it is okay to have all of those. You don't have to be always happy and or joyful, or always you don't have to always be happy, which is, what joy to me is at the beginning of the movie. is unwarranted happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And sadness comes in and shows you that being joyful doesn't always mean that you're not sad.
Well, and it shows you how you grow.
Right,
where
exactly.
Some of those core things that
Yeah,
like defined you
those
as a
core
little
memories
kid get replaced by
Yep.
other
Yep.
core things.
that are sometimes hard and difficult. You know,
Yeah.
you might have had a core memory that, you know, was really maybe, you know, difficult, or you might have had
Yeah.
a core memory that was awesome that you will never forget.
Yeah.
But they shape you.
Yeah.
And grow you. So yeah, I loved Inside Out
Yeah.
a lot.
I think for my next one, I'm gonna say Coco.
Okay.
So I've got
This movie grew on me.
You didn't like it at first.
I won't say that. It grew on me though. I
Gotcha.
liked it,
So
but
I've
I
got
think it was a
Up,
different style.
Soul, and now Coco.
Yeah, those are good.
I'm gonna go Coco. And the first time I watched it, I liked it,
Mm-hmm.
but I watched it. I've seen it more now,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's grown on me even more.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm yawning.
I know, me too. I guess I'm tired, I guess.
Did you know your brain cools whenever you yawn?
That is, I did know that.
He told me that
I read
interesting
you that
fact,
fact
earlier.
this
That's a
morning.
bonus fact,
Yeah.
folks. So yeah, I love Coco. The music is really, really good, and of course, it does all the things that a good movie does,
Right.
like a good animated movie does, where it's funny and it's cute
Also
and all that
the
stuff.
music.
But again,
avenue for you is-
I really, really think that idea of family lineage and how you're remembered and how your family remembers you and
Yeah.
and those stories that we tell that stay alive
Well,
from
also, yeah, your legacy.
from the people in our family and legacy and all of that stuff. I just think it's really, really interesting topic for a movie and just wanting, you know, that idea of like your family from years and years ago, your lineage and your heritage, like they live in you,
Right.
Like how you're sitting right now was like how your great grandfather
Yeah,
maybe sat
that's so
in a
interesting,
chair,
yeah.
and like that's like ingrained
those inherent
in your,
things, yeah.
your DNA,
Yeah.
you know, and it's
That's good.
it's you know how they're remembered and how they live on to a certain extent. and-
Remember me, yeah.
yeah.
Good song.
So I think that movie's
Yeah,
fantastic. I love
when I
that
say
one.
it grew on me, there was a lot of things about that culture that I did not know or understand at first. And so, like, you know, I'm a type of person who, like, when I don't understand, like, I'm going to go do, like, research and learn
Sure,
and stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And so, like, I watched that movie for the first time and went and learned, you know, like the Day of the Dead and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Like, those things that I just didn't understand and know. And so I was like, what is going on?
Sure.
And then I read about it and it was really cool. And, you know, you know, whatever you believe on different stuff like that. Okay.
Sure.
But, you know, the idea of, you know, you love your family that much that you're going to go out of your way to make them feel special and whatever you believe. But it was after the second time I watched it, like, that is an emotional movie for me. Like, watching it, like you talk about legacy and,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really good. It's really, really good. So that's
Yeah.
a great pick.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that off of my list, but I that's a great movie. My third one is Hercules.
Ooh, another really, really great one.
I think for me growing up, this was a really important movie for me. It is a coming of age movie without kind of being one because he's kind of a superhero, you know. So it's a different, you know, most coming of age. You got like Boy Meets World, you got different things like that in the Disney realm. But for me, Hercules is for me, it was a coming of age movie. You know, zero to hero, that idea
Right.
of like you come from nothing, or at least it seems that way, but yet you do all you can to just do the next right thing. And
Sure.
that's what I see in Hercules. And so I loved that movie growing up.
I really, really liked that one growing up too.
Yeah, it was special to me. So yeah, that'd be my
I really liked that one. I would say for me, the next one, number 4. This is where it gets a little tricky because there's so many good ones.
I know. I feel like we're leaving out a few that are like big time.
Yeah, there's so many good ones. I'm gonna go with. Toy Story
Okay.
3.
3. Okay.
I think that's the one that I'm thinking of.
Which one what are you thinking
I'm
of?
thinking of the one at the daycare.
That's Toy Story 3 because
Yeah.
that's the one where you could think it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Toy Story 3.
Yeah. So yeah, I really, the end of Toy Story 3 really kind of gets me.
Yeah.
Um,
Where they're like, it looks like they're about to die. Is that the
no, where he's giving his toys away.
Oh.
To the little girl.
Yeah.
And it's kind of that like, that idea of like your creativity and your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's kind of moving on from that a little bit, but acknowledging the fact
that it molded him.
That it molded him, and it's super important, and passing that on to another generation. I think it's awesome.
Well, and wow, that is so good. That is
Toy Story 3.
You look back on it and
gets me.
It is a fantastic movie because it does play on all of those things. Like childhood is important. How you're molded is important, but how you mold those who come after you is also important. And so you can't just throw it away.
Yeah.
You have to do something else. Like that's
like that
Toy Story. Come on now.
That act of generosity and letting go of your childhood self and realizing that somebody else needs to live that now, but like you have to move on to another stage and
golly. And that'll preach. Goodness gracious.
Man, it really does get me.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
The end of that movie really gets me.
I think my next pick would be this is where it's hard for me because like you said, there's so many. I had Tarzan, I had Hercules, and then I had I'm forgetting. Oh, Inside Out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go number 4. Oh, this is so difficult. Because there's one, if I was like maybe 2 years ago, I would have said this is my all time. Yeah. But I feel like it's now my honorable mention.
I got you.
Can I say my honorable mention?
Wait, is this your 5th one or your 4th one?
This is my 4th one.
We'll do honorable mentions before the last one.
So my 4th pick, I gotta go Brave.
Wow. Okay. Really? I wasn't expecting that.
Yes. I'm going to go Brave. And there's reasons for this. So there is a level of me that is different, like, than my family growing up. And so, like, I maybe saw things differently or thought about things differently or whatever, right? And the movie Brave is all about a girl who doesn't technically fit into the mold of her family, but she has to find her role in her family being who she is. And that person, that version of herself is still important. And I saw this movie. I mean, this movie came out probably when I was in high school. Yeah. But so a lot of forming had already been done. But for me, it was I love that movie. I think I also
felt seen by that movie.
I felt seen by that movie, but I also, and that doesn't mean like there's no, animosity towards family whatsoever, but just you see yourself in characters throughout. And we always do that. But like for me, I also think I love that culture. I want to say it's Scotland.
Scottish.
Scottish film or
the country in which it takes place.
Right. Yeah. And so I think I just really respect that culture. And so just that movie with how it affected, my perspective and how it spoke to, just not being, just the same.
Right.
And, not fitting into a mold in which might have been, created for you. But also never neglecting that the mold or your place in your family, it still has value. Yeah. And like you still have a role to play within your family, whether it's different than maybe what they thought it was for you. Right. So it's just really good. I love that movie so much. Yep.
Yeah, it is super good. I caught a piece of it. Or I think I was watching it with Augie actually a couple months ago. And it is really, really good. It's a fantastic one. Well, I think that my last pick is probably... Oh, it's so hard.
I know. That's
you know what? I don't think I can do. I had decided I was going to put this in my top 5, and I think I'm doing a last minute switcheroo.
Okay, what are you putting in?
I think I'm going to put in Aladdin.
Okay.
At the very end.
Okay, that is fantastic.
It's just one that I loved as a kid. Like,
right.
I almost don't have any deeper thing for it.
Well, it's just straight up.
It's just straight up hilarious.
Well, dude, Aladdin. You know what Aladdin is? Aladdin is social media.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
What I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's like the real version of you is all that is ever needed, but the fake version of you is what you feel like you have to put on.
Yeah. Wow. So, yeah.
That's a great choice, dude.
Yeah.
That is
Aladdin. I'll go through my honorable mention, but
Okay.
I'll let you do your first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I really love
my
Aladdin. I
fifth
loved
one-
that one as a kid.
Yeah, Aladdin is great. I didn't like that one as much just because I think I think the magic side of things for me was a little bit like hard to get through, and like the magic carpet was like weird for me. Like as a kid, like I just felt the magic carpet was weird. But like now looking back, like I mean it's a great movie. I'm stuck between two. One of them, like I said, as a kid, was my all-time favorite movie. Looking back, it's not as great in my mind.
Right.
So, I'm going to place it, and I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm going to place it as an honorable mention instead. And I have can we do 3 honorable mentions? Let's do that.
We can do as many honorable
Okay.
mentions as you want.
Oh, this is tough. My 5th pick. Favorite top 5 movies.
Go on.
Oh my gosh, this is so hard. Mulan.
Oh, dude. That might have made the top 5 for me if I had like
Thought through it.
considered it a little bit.
I have to say Mulan.
Oh, it's so good.
Watching
man.
my sister watch that movie it was a great moment for me growing up.
Man,
but
that's a
also
great one.
the experience, like
I won't lie, man. This was a couple years ago now, but on a drive-through, we were listening to. I don't think we were even listening to the whole soundtrack. We were just listening to like one of the songs, and I think it was "Reflection,"
Dude.
or it was one of the like really like one of the,
One of the big songs,
amazing
yeah.
songs
Right,
from
right.
that movie. There are several,
Man Out of You.
but I was just like in tears,
dude, same.
I was like,
Same.
this is breaking me down.
Same.
Like,
there are scenes in that movie that like just thinking about them get me emotional. You know me, I'm a very emotional individual. But like that scene where they're
Yeah.
doing that song, is it Make a Man Out of You? Where
Yeah.
they go to the top of the cliff and they see just its
Let's
like
get
it's death.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's just like the town, the city has been demolished.
no. I think that's what do we want?
Yeah.
A girl worth fighting for.
Yeah, because what do you want? A girl worth fighting. And then it's yeah. But it's like that movie is so good. And I also think it like, I love it when, I love it when, we get to learn through about, different types of cultures in small scales.
Right.
Obviously
Sure.
every little thing of that movie doesn't explain the whole culture that it is kind of
Yeah.
displaying. But like, I think that was cool. Like as a
An
kid,
entry
getting to
point,
learn. Yeah.
maybe.
And so I love Mulan so much, man.
Super good.
So
man.
good. Such
You've
a
got some
great
great
movie.
picks on your list. You
Yeah.
really do.
Thanks, man. Anyway, your top 5. What was it? Your top 5 was
My top 5 was it was Up,
Yep.
Soul,
Soul,
um,
Coco.
Coco, Toy Story 3, and Aladdin.
Okay, that's solid.
Which Aladdin was a tough. I wanted to do one that as a kid I was just like I watched
Right.
this
all the time.
all the time,
Right.
and it was probably like between a couple,
Right.
and Aladdin, which and honestly Hercules was probably like I watched that one probably just as much.
That movie
as
changed my
Aladdin.
life. So I had Tarzan, I had Inside Out, I had Hercules, Brave, and Mulan.
Mm-hmm. Solid list.
Yep, that's a solid list. Okay, first honorable mention. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with The Great Mouse Detective. That one almost was on my top 5, and I switched it for Aladdin because I think I
So-
might have just barely watched Aladdin more than
I did not see that movie until I was older.
Yeah, I loved The Great Mouse Detective as a kid.
Yeah,
I can't even express to you why. I don't know why exactly, but I
'cause
just
it's like-
loved it.
It's like not real. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
it's like it's just kind of an odd one, but I just really liked it as a kid, and I can't explain why. Like
It's like my love for the Tale of
the
Despero.
detective, like building and inventing things, and I just loved
my
it.
favorite book as a kid was a book called The Tale of Despero, and it was about a mouse that lived in a wealthy house.
Oh wow!
And it's like his life and like how he meets this princess, and it's like not real life, but it was my favorite. It was my first book that I learned. Like it was like, oh, you like reading?
Yeah.
And so
Wow.
it's not
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
It's not possible. But
Yeah. So Great Mouse Detective is on there
Okay.
for me.
my first kind of honorable mention is The Incredibles.
That was going to be one of my honorable mentions.
Okay, so that's fair.
So good,
it's
man.
so good. It is.
There are just so many great ones.
really, really good. What's your second one? Your second honorable mention.
Ooh, I think this is going to really take you off guard.
Okay. What do you
Take
got?
you by surprise. I really enjoyed Ferdinand.
Okay.
Have you ever seen it?
Yes, I have.
Did you not like it?
I did not like it. There are just some animals in which I don't care about. It's like, do I want to see a movie with a dog?
Well, okay.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
I just don't care about bulls.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's just like,
No, I really liked Ferdinand.
also for me,
I thought it was good.
I think for me, bulls growing up, like I just didn't see them. Like I didn't know, like there were things I didn't know about that species of animal until I got older. And so, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I really like Ferdinand. I liked how Ferdinand. I don't know. I feel like there have been movies that we've seen before where it's like, oh, they choose nonviolence, you know,
Right.
And they take that as like
Soft.
you look at people as less than because
Right.
they're like, oh, I choose
Right.
to not be violent. But I just thought that Ferdinand did a cool job of like, it didn't feel that way at all. Like people may have like been judging him for that or something.
He just made the right choice.
But he, like his character, just like had a measured approach with a lot of the stuff that he did, and chose to like mercy and grace and forgiveness.
Yeah.
And chose a lot of those things that like I wish I could be better at sometimes.
Right.
And so I just thought it was kind of a cool movie where it's like, you know, when he needed to, he did what he had to do to help his friends.
Right.
And like the people that he, and,
Right,
and
yeah.
the animals that he loved. But like even the ones that had hurt him or like called him,
Yeah.
you know, had
Names
messed with
and-
him or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. That's really good.
But no, I that one kind of took me off guard, and it's an honorable mention for me. I enjoyed that one.
Yep. I think my one that I'm surprised none of us said, and as a kid, it was my all-time favorite movie.
What?
Was Lion King.
Lion King.
I loved that
Yeah.
movie, and I think looking back, the reason why it's not on my top 5 list is it's just an okay movie. But as a kid, like the concept, the plot, like a father-son, I think for me, it was like, this is so good.
I almost remember Lion King for enjoying really loving parts of that movie.
Yes.
But as a whole,
Right.
I as a kid was
Right.
always like,
there are scenes between
there
Simba and
are some
Mufasa
scenes that are so
like,
tough.
I love it. There are scenes between Simba and Rafiki, Rafiki is my favorite Disney character of all time.
Yeah.
Like, where it's like, this is an amazing movie. But like, yeah, you're right. As a whole, like the scene with Simba running back to Pride Rock, like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Like, this is stupid.
Right.
But like the scene between like understanding fatherhood and like being a son and doing those things is pretty cool.
I think, as a whole, I didn't like that one as much as a kid, but I really, really enjoyed parts of it.
Yeah.
Another one for me,
I have two more. So
this is just one that I loved, and I just watched all the time. It was Peter Pan.
okay. Yeah.
I watched that a lot.
Same. I did too.
I watched it a ton.
Yeah. Never grown up.
I probably haven't watched that movie. It's been years and years and years. So if I went back to it,
I used to watch Hook all the time.
oh yeah. If I went back to it, who knows how I'd feel now? But
Right.
yeah,
It's
I
an
remember.
animated movie. So
I remember watching that and just really, really
my last two
loving it.
is one. I'm gonna say both of them. One of them is one that most people have not seen,
Oh,
but it was one of my favorite movies ever, and it was called Treasure Planet.
Treasure Planet.
It is a better version of National Treasure in an animated version.
Okay, big statements over here, man.
And I am a hater.
You're looking at a big National Treasure guy
or
over here.
you're a Nicolas Cage guy. I don't know how big of a National Treasure guy you actually are, but I love Treasure Planet. It's another like story and movie, just kind of about a guy who comes from nothing and like, but he has the ability and has the kind of wherewithal to do the next right thing and to figure it out. And then my last one,
There were some cool like one-off
yeah.
movies like
Yes.
that were lesser known like that, like
Atlantis.
Atlantis,
Yep.
Desperado.
Yep.
I think was another one. Wasn't
Those are
there
the two
another
that
like?
come to my
Wasn't
mind
there
right
another like
after that.
treasure one
Probably.
or something? Titan AE wasn't.
Maybe.
I don't think that was like a Disney or Pixar or like anything.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't think. I think it was something else.
But
Anyway,
my
that was
second
that
one.
was a cool one too. That was cool.
Second one and final one, Frozen 2.
Frozen 2,
Frozen 2.
honorably mentioned
I think it's a fantastic.
in the group. Yeah.
It tells a lot. It does a lot. It does a lot.
You had one more honorable mention than me, so I'm gonna throw another one in.
Go ahead.
Monsters Inc.
Not that big of a fan, but I know like you either love it
like
or
it.
you don't like it.
I like it.
And
Well, I like it.
I'm all about that. Okay.
All right, Trey. Hit me with a wolf fact.
baby. Here we go. It's time. Wolf fact of the day for the final day of
Wolf Week.
Wolves can run up to 40 miles per hour. In almost every
40.
road in Edwardsville, they would get pulled over.
Is this like on a flat?
If they, for short periods of time, they can run get up to 40 miles per hour.
I'm just thinking though, that's like rough terrain probably. Mm-hmm. So they may be able to actually run faster on like a smooth flat surface.
Maybe.
That's fast.
40 miles per hour.
That's really fast.
It's moving. That's as fast as some mopeds can go.
What's the fastest a human has ever run?
I want to say Usain Bolt, and it's like 26. Maybe it's in the 20s. It's not in the 30s.
That man ran 26.
It probably is
miles
lower
per
than
hour.
26. I want to say they calculated Derrick Henry at 21 and a half. So I would say Usain Bolt would probably be about 23 range. I feel like 26 is high.
That's really fast.
Yeah. This man is a speed. He would get a speeding ticket by running.
Wow. That's so fast.
Anyway, who cares about Usain Bolt? Wolves, though. 40 miles per hour.
Wow. That's fast, dude.
That's insane.
Think about how fast they could chase you down, which we now know because of Wolf Week.
Must stand still.
Stand still.
And they won't attack.
And
they may outweigh you.
Certain wolves, I guess.
Well, they may,
We don't know if that's every wolf that won't attack
Right.
you.
Well, and the
if you're
goal
standing
is
still.
not to say that they're not going to attack you. They're going to wait for you to falter and panic because eventually they believe they're going to scare you into moving and then they're going to attack you. They don't want to waste their energy because this is getting really dive deep into my wolf facts. But the reason in which they won't,
into wolf psychology
the reason
here.
in which they won't attack you is because they may or may not have eaten for multiple days. And so they're conserving their amount of energy to make sure they kill this animal. And so if it's just standing there still, they're just going to wait. And the moment that it, because if the moment that it like wears itself out, panics, they're on the charge. So interesting.
Wow.
Wolf Week is over, baby. I'm sad about it. Maybe next week we'll do Shark Week or something crazy, but
Shark Week, yeah, no one's ever done that.
Shark Week used to be one of my favorite weeks of the year.
Wow.
So,
when is Shark Week?
it's in the summer, so it's already happened.
Oh, that's a shame.
I know. Shark Week, we'll have to wait.
Maybe we can watch some shark videos someday on this podcast.
Maybe. Or wolf videos.
Yeah,
Disney
wolf videos.
has a ton of of wolf videos. I think 3 to be exact.
Like documentaries, not videos, but
Right. Yeah,
documentaries.
documentaries on wolves. Anyway,
Gotcha.
don't
Wrestle
your
neighbor.
bye.